actually come to this particular session. So can you guys please shoot out if there is any specific expectation that you have while coming to this session? You can just speak out very quickly.
Vijay, one point from my end.
Sure.
Latest update is 6.0. So I just wanted to know and the curiosity about the 6.1 because so many terms are changed as a Scrum Master to lead guide, something like that. So those things I'm interested.
Yeah. So I might touch upon very little some terms, and I would like to be very recent in terms of 6.0. However, focus is not 6.0. We already have Sharvari. I think we have some more sessions planned. We have already done 2 sessions already, right? And then I think 2-3 more sessions coming up, Sandeep. So we will keep you informed about it. The differences that has happened in 6.0. So very soon, maybe next to next Saturday or something like that, we'll again, Friday, I would say rather, we'll have that session. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Anybody else? Any expectations, Prithvi, Bala?
So I thought like it's been, I recently joined another organization which is planning to move to SAFE right now. So, but we had previously worked in SAFE environment couple of years back. So I thought I can able to again refresh the concepts and try to implement this knowledge in the current transformation, which is going to roll out next month.
Awesome. Sure. So I would like to make some justice, do some justice to whatever your expectation is. However, as I told Sandeep, we also have 2 more sessions coming up, especially on the differences that has happened in 5.1 and when it happened like 6.0. So what's the difference? Okay. So that we are going to have very soon. Any expectations from Annie and I would say, sorry, and or any other participants here? Prithvi, I know Prithvi is implementing SAFE for a longer time. Deepak, Puneet, please feel free if you have any questions or objectives right away.
Vijay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have question, but as a Scrum Master, whether you are working in normal Scrum framework or a scaled Agile framework, I believe responsibilities and everything are same, somewhat same like that, except in SAFE, as a Scrum Master, he has some extra responsibility in involvement in PA planning mostly. That is my understanding. Let us see if you bring something more, it would be definitely insightful for me.
This has to be collaborative session.
Yes.
I will bring in certain thoughts of my own experiences, but I would expect all of you guys, guys have a lot of experiences in your own field, in your own company. So I would like you guys to please speak out. Okay. Yeah, this is me, Vijay Vade.
Sorry for cutting. Just one thought. Is there any transition discussion is going in this session? Because let's consider I'm a Scrum Master where I'm working in this Scrum.
Yeah.
Okay, as a framework, and tomorrow I will become a SAFE Agilist or the working in the different framework. In that case, definitely transition will happen from Scrum Master to the SAFE Agilist Scrum Master. In that case, you are covering those points as well. I'm talking about the transition.
Yeah, transition. Maybe we will touch upon a bit. Basically, we will be discussing about the differences. Okay, and anyways, that will actually get us into some kind of transition aspects, but not absolutely, completely. Okay. And we have a lot of experiences here. Like I would like to call upon if Sid can also contribute, or there are people like Nawaz, Puneet, Deepak, anyone. I mean, if somebody has a question, and you can please pitch in and also answer from your own experiences. Okay. So yeah, this is me, founder of AgileWaters Consulting, Agile Practitioners Group of India, and Green Incubator Foundation, that's an NGO. I have experiences of enterprise coaching. I work with a lot of CEOs. Thanks to all of those guys, I mean, they have really enhanced my knowledge, especially CEO of Sopo, CEO of Bank of New York Mellon, also working a little bit CEO of Pattern India now, and various other folks, at senior folks, with a lot of knowledges, and that has really enhanced my knowledge. So thanks to all of them. I'll not go into a lot of discussion into what I am, but let's get into topic. Why we are starting this topic? Let me declare this. We are comparing the basics Scrum, okay, basic Scrum framework, I might touch upon the 2020 version of Scrum Guide, okay, and SAFe, okay, that is, I might touch upon a little bit of, I might go into 5.1 or the latest 6.0. I would like to be touching more on 6.0 though. So whenever I'm making certain references, speaking about it, I'm basically referring two things here. Number one, Scrum Guide. That is the latest Scrum Guide on scrumguides.org. You can also refer it there. And Scaled Agile Framework, that is scaledagileparamework.com. Basically, you have both the versions there. That is 6.0, which is the latest version, and also 5.1 or earlier versions. Okay, so I would like to basically touch upon basically these aspects. Okay, Prithvi already told that what is, from his point of view, what is the difference? Anybody else has any opinion on what are the differences to start with?
Yeah, the primary difference being when we are trying to manage multiple teams and have a synchronization between them.
Yeah. Okay.
And cadence, and we apply same cadence to manage the dependencies.
Oh, yes, 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 Bala. Okay, sure. So I have divided into various different aspects. Thanks for getting in. So let us see the structures and the associations. From a Scrum Master point of view, a basic Scrum. Okay, what are the structure and associations? If you actually see, this is the basic construct. Okay, in any Scrum is there is a Scrum Master, there is a product owner, and there are developers. Okay, the very basic construct. Okay, you can also touch upon the Scrum of Scrum, and therein other roles would come in, which is not so prevalent in the market. And every organization has their own version of it. Okay, I'm not going to different versions of it, but this is the basic construct when you actually see. So if you see majorly who are the stakeholders from the Scrum Guide point of view, there are two basic or major connects from the framework point of view, developers and the product owner. Let me tell you guys, developers is the concept in the new Scrum Guide. Earlier, it was a development team. So it is no more development team because it was actually breaking one Scrum into multiple parts, so team within team. So it was actually going against the very own principle of team inside the team. And hence, Scrum Guide changed it to developers, and no more they call it as development team, but developers. Okay, so this is whole Scrum team. So if you see the straightforward connections, but if you go to SAFe here, what do you see? I have taken this diagram from scaledagileparamework.com. If you actually see, a Scrum Master now is also called as TC. Anybody know what TC is?
Yes, that's team coach.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really wonderful. So it's team coach. So Scrum Master as well as you're also called as team coach. Okay. And now if you see how the information is actually flowing from the product management to the art setup or the teams, and then from teams or complete setup to an individual team. In this, if you see RTE, Release Train Engineer, who is Scrum Master of Scrum Master. So practically, you can also call your functionally reporting to a Chief Scrum Master. Scrum Master of Scrum Master in SAFe language, we call it as RTE, Release Train Engineer. So if you actually see, it's a structure wherein you are reporting to some senior functionally, and there is somebody to guide you. There is somebody to help you or take away certain responsibilities from you at the higher level. Okay, at the art level, ART level. Sandeep, for your question, earlier we used to call it as program level in 5.1. However, in 6.0, we do not have any level called as program level, but we call it as art level, agile release training level. Okay, so that's a difference that has come in. So if you see, there is a structure, a different structure here. Okay, difference is basically if you're a small Scrum team or any structure inside your team, basically your responsibility or accountability, because you are an individual or you are an individual role, maybe you have major accountabilities here. But if you come on SAFe, this thing, there is a hand-holding happening from your RTE also. So that's a difference. Anybody would like to comment on this? Any suggestions, any additions, any thoughts?
Vijay, one small point. Whatever
Sure.
program words, it is replaced with that as per my understanding. For example, program backlog to art backlog, program board to the art board, program epic is the naming convention as art epic. Is it correct?
Yeah. Yes, yes. However, I'm not expanding your question because we will go into the differences of 5.1 and 6.0. Here, difference is Scrum Master. So that's why I'm touching upon. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. You're right. Anybody else? Thanks, Sandeep, for that. So what point I'm making here, a Scrum Master here in the basic setup has more accountability or many stakeholders to deal with or many areas to deal with. In SAFe, it is made a little easier. Okay, you have somebody, a Scrum Master of Scrum Master, who is a highly influential person with you. You can go and ask for certain guidance, help, and you might have a cohort inside. So that's a basic difference in the structure. Okay. Now let's go into Scrum Master responsibilities and the stakeholders. So in Scrum setup, from Scrum Guide, who all are there? There's a mistake here, okay? Product owner, okay? Then you have the total Scrum team or developers, and then you have client or a user. The basic setup, okay? However, organization specific in your own organization, you may have other teams, the project manager, the quality manager, the delivery manager, and what's not. Okay, so if you actually see when we implement basic Scrum, okay, and there is no organizational structure around it, it's the product structure that you have. And your organizational structure prevails, and it sometimes it also interferes with your basic Scrum structure. However, if you go to SAFe, you have product owner, which is similar to Scrum. You have agile team, whatever you call developers, you have agile team or agile teams. You have a client and a user, basically. So this is what is comparable to your Scrum. Now, other teams in art, which you may have in your basic Scrum setup or not. So other teams in art, so you have equal or righteous setup where you can deal with day in, day out. Apart from that, you have RTE, release train engineer. As I told you, that was a stakeholder you can directly deal with, take help from. You have product management. It might be an individual or a set of people. Architectural and UX team. You have a systems team, a separate systems team, okay, which might implement Kanban as a different practices. Okay, and there is business owner whom you will deal with. Basically, in basic Scrum setup, I'm saying wherever it is implemented, I'm not comparing all, but majority of the times, the Scrum Master may not even directly connect sometimes with the business owners. But in the SAFe setup, you are supposed to, because every PI planning, as Prithvi was saying, every PI planning, you are supposed to go and face and deal with these individuals or these roles. So that's a basic difference. So if you see from the stakeholder portfolio point of view, your portfolio is actually increasing in number of stakeholders. And that's how your skills are tested more here for more and more people. However, in basic Scrum setup, your setup might be a little smaller or sometimes even bigger. I don't know. But if you are traversing from one organization, now Sandeep, I'm answering your question. If you are a Scrum Master in one organization, which is implementing basic Scrum, and you are going to another organization, which is also again implementing basic Scrum setup, you will still find there is a lot of difference between these two setups, because beyond the basic setup, there are also other roles which are very specific to that organization, which might change. And hence you will feel like, oh, where am I now? However, if you're going from one SAFe organization to another SAFe organization, you will find the same roles. So that's the basic difference between when you actually traverse as a Scrum Master from basic setup and when you traverse from a SAFe organization to another SAFe organization as a Scrum Master. That's also a difference. Any comments? Anybody who has actually traversed from one organization to another, guys, friends, if you would like to share anything? You found any differences, any different experiences? Biradar, Vai Pawar, Deepak, Sid.
One thought, Vijay. Actually, when I was working in the Wipro that time, it was a combination where we are talking about the Scrum, right? Where we have pivot, team, then users. So this was the base setup. On top of that, there is a sync up call as right, and in that sync up, basically every team is using Scrum, but they have sync up call. Just like as you know, in the SAP, we have sync up call. Right now, the naming convention is also changed. So initially SOS was there. Now it is kind of code sync up, something like that. So this difference I can see, but somehow right now I'm working in the TCS where it is a plain Scrum where we are not molding any activity. Whatever activities are there, for example, if you're grooming session, so basically it is a grooming session. If you're talking about the sprint planning, so it is a plain structured followed. But definitely, as you said, in the Scrum, there are something moldable and people can mold those things and they can utilize as per their own way. That I do agree with you. I never work in the same, so I don't have any experience in the same.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, anyone else? Punit, were you trying to say something?
No, actually, I know the Scrum thing, but I haven't. I am studying with this safe framework, so I am.
Okay. Sure. Okay, good. Nawaz, anytime if you feel like adding something, please feel free to. You can also raise hand or also put it in chat. So in the meantime, I would like to wake you up, guys, if you're actually moving away, because online session is something that, you use a lot of freedom. So I would like to ask you guys, go to your chat and what is your current framework that you're using? Whatever framework. I mean, it might be basic Scrum, it might be scaled agile, it might be less, it might be Nexus, whatever you are actually implementing. It might be waterfall. I even like waterfall. It works beautifully. But there are setups or the requirements where you can actually implement waterfall also. Yeah. So I'm just checking on chat. Yeah.
Vijay, I have a question. Can I ask?
Sure.
So, do you feel anything that is good and safe that can be brought into Scrum, those practices?
Yeah. Okay. Anybody would like to answer, guys, here?
Okay. It all depends, but yeah, safe practices are very difficult to move to Scrum, I guess. Because I mean, in Scrum, we don't have PI planning. We do not have some roles that, for example, PI planning, the Scrum Master doesn't run PI planning, right? It doesn't do any preparations. That's for release train engineer. So what I've realized is most companies, because they've avoided using the word safe. So just introduce with most big organizations what they call new ways of working.
Yeah.
So what in the new ways of working, they may have different responsibilities. For example, organizations will say, okay, they will divide their organization products into value streams. And maybe instead of calling that same person a release train engineer, they have what they call value stream managers in charge of that. So I think it's very difficult. Of course, we still have a Scrum of Scrums in the safe. I think it's called, they have a new name, which I can't remember. That's Team Sync. That's oh my God, I'm forgetting the name. But they now have, they don't call it Scrum of Scrums anymore in safe. So in Scrum, we still have Scrum of Scrums because it may be different teams or different domains, swim lanes working on the same features. Yeah. So I think it's very difficult to bring for me into Scrum because it's a bit different. Scrum remains Scrum, but it's safe. It has bits and pieces of other frameworks. That's what I do.
Thanks for adding that. Yeah. So let me tell you my own take on this. I implemented basic Scrum for a very long time, also Safe for a very long time into different organizations. Scrum is a set of principle, and it's a core setup, a basic setup, and it is you can also build upon it. So it has a lot of flexibility. And Scrum or Scrum Guide believes that you are intellectuals, and based on your setup or requirement, taking the basic structure, you can also make certain structure which might suit you. For an example, I would say Safe is also an extension of Scrum implementation, but Safe is more detail oriented. If you actually see, like if you have a PI planning, if you have a setup kind of, the basic structure and basic requirements. So the rules are more in Safe than basic Scrum structure. Safe is also bringing in every now and then, bringing in the best practices across the world, what's happening. Like Kanban, they have added in. Recent changes, if you have actually seen, earlier they brought in UX. In the recent version 6.0, they have brought in OKRs. So Safe is actually studying a lot across the industry and adding in. Okay, to cut short and say the basic practices that I like from Safe, which Scrum does not say, but Scrum does not stop you. So I will not say that you can bring it from Safe. But I would say what I like in Safe is basically the IP iteration, which gives a standard authoritative and a clear time for you guys to think about innovations, think about giving time to yourself, giving time to some improvement. Okay, it is very structured. However, Scrum does not stop you from doing that. So if I would like to take away from IP iteration is something that is I really like. Big room planning, or in Safe we call it as AI planning, that is what I definitely like. Okay, and basically the sync ups that we have, structured sync ups that I really like in Safe, and also its intention towards built-in quality and the practices around it, like you have DevOps implementation. So that is basically, and they're actually speaking about it a lot. So those practices I like a lot. However, will I call it like bring it to Scrum? I won't say, because Scrum is like more on principle basis. Like it says, guys, you are more valuable to your family, is what Scrum says. I mean, in other language. Okay, it doesn't tell you that wear the helmet. It believes that you understand that you are intellectual. You'll wear a helmet while you are driving a bike, so that if anything happens, you will take care of your family. I mean, nothing will happen to you. You will be saved. This is what Scrum believes in. But sometimes Safe tells you, you wear a helmet. Okay, that's what is the difference between these two frameworks. Does that answer your question? This is from my point of view.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, thanks, Vinay. So you mean it is not so prescriptive than the latter Scrum?
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
And it gives a ready-made structure for everyone to contribute and deliver the results.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, thinking of Scrum, can you think of making your own framework built on Scrum? Definitely. But if you think of making another framework built on Safe, maybe difficult. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Any additions, guys? Hey, Rahul, thank you. Thanks for joining in. Any additions? Yeah.
I mean, I can I can go on my rant.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, maybe quickly. Yeah, I personally is very, like, I'm not a Safe hater, but I am framework agnostic. So I've seen a lot of bashing of. I have used Scrum in many contexts, like even not using Scrum as not using Safe as Safe. Like some of the constructs, like joint retrospectives. So I actually was in a situation where I had couple of teams, Scrum teams, and they were building up the same product. So I introduced a concept of joint retrospectives. So combining the retrospective, and then we used to do it in 3 parts. same way, like another, like, so my current organization, my client was very much Kanban. So I actually borrowed the concept of Kanban portfolio management. So literally, went through, the transformation of introducing the flow and, and some kind of a prioritization, not with zip, something else. But yeah, some construct around, and even created a role of Kanban portfolio manager, which is not even described in SAFe. So we literally created a role, in the organization. So in a given context, yeah, you can borrow some of the concepts. So say again, SAFe is not evil. I think that's the way I see, and I see a lot of batching going around. Would you do it as the book says? I don't know even if you can do Scrum or Kanban for that matter. So why you pick on SAFe? So, I mean, you cannot, maybe not every organization is set up to do things by the book, by the letter, but yeah, there is always good in everything. So SAFe has so many things to offer. And I can go on and on like for another 10 minutes, how many things you can borrow from SAFe to actually in your context. But yeah, I mean, just
sure. Thanks for adding in. Yeah, definitely. There are quite a few people who do not like or like whatever framework and framework agnostics and kind of, definitely. So people have their own ideas, their own virtues, their own experiences that has come in. Yeah, I mean, nothing stopping it. There are a lot of people who say that SAFe doesn't work. But if you actually see as on today, how many organizations they have implemented, because I tell you, I like one more concept that I would like to add. Who asked that question that, who would like to, if you would like to bring in something from SAFe to Scrum. SAFe has done one thing really beautifully, integration of their customer or the business owners. And that is, I believe, is one of the most success factor for SAFe. Can Scrum or other frameworks do that? Yeah, definitely do that. I also implemented less Nexus, also Scrum at scale, and everything has its own positives and some lacunas. Everyone has it. However, I like one thing is SAFe prescriptively included business, and that's how they connected the developers and the business. That's one of the beautiful things that is actually done. So I really like it. Yeah. However, you can do it in your own organization. And we also have an intellectual group of coaches and people who are kind of, we also keep discussing about, Rahul is also one of, we will be discussing about certain, how can we create our own framework? Can we discuss about it? We have already done certain sessions that I have already, discussed a session already on, I think it must be recorded and already on the YouTube maybe, that can we make our own framework? That was one of the talk, and we discussed a lot about it. We might come out with Rahul Shah, who is here in this call. We are also thinking about, how can we be more intellectual beyond just saying that this framework doesn't work, this framework doesn't work. Can we also discuss about what we can contribute towards those frameworks? Can we make our own framework? And this should be the discussion that we should have. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Kumar is saying Agile 2.0 is in progress. Yeah, Kumar would like to add something?
Yes, Vijay, there is another set of people started Agile 2.0 and they started training on that actually. Even I participated last year, some of the sessions. For me, the time is not convenient, meaning it is like early morning 6:30, I need to connect every week. Some sessions I attended, some I missed. I went through the content. It was interesting.
Sure.
But it was blaming on Agile, which I don't like some of the things actually. It is not like you want to bring something that means you need to blame the existing, correct? Maybe you can say what is the limitations are there, as you mentioned. Every framework has positive, negative of it.
Absolutely.
So which has more positive, which is suitable to the particular organization or a program or project, they can take and use it. If you look at banking, everybody is using modified Spotify model. So some organization using SAFe, some are following Scrum. So the only thing in SAFe, now we have RTE, correct? So when RTE position is there, it is taking some of the roles and responsibility of the Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master role become reduced because RTE is taking some product owner, product manager is there. So product manager takes about roadmap and things. So the product owner, Scrum Master will work only with the teams. So they will concentrate, they can able to concentrate more actually. That is the advantage of it. Yeah, these are all the different point of view. I think it's not an easy subject. It's a very complex subject.
Sure, Kumar, if you would like to share that group name or something like that, if you're connect kind of, please feel free to add your contact on the chat so that, people can also connect if they feel like, please feel free to add your connect on the chat.
Okay,
sure. And I see, Bala, you're saying that you are already into a Scrum environment and now you're moving to Safe. I mean, you will still be in a Scrum environment, but the scaled version of it. Yeah. Okay. And Puneet is saying, Scrum and Kanban, but some programs have implemented less. Okay, good. Sometime if you would like to share some experiences, please let us know. We will connect, and then you can also have a session, Puneet, with us. How does it feel like, Scrum, Kanban, and also less if you want to bring in combined experiences. Nawaz is saying Scrumban and Kanban. Oh, wow, interesting. Nawaz, I would like to listen from you on Scrumban experiences sometime. Pawan, you're saying implementing Scrum. Thank you so much, guys. If you want to just put in some thoughts, you can still put it on the chat.
Vijay, just want to highlight, this is Vijay from Singapore, I believe you remember, So this is, my name is coming as Kumar, So
okay.
Actually, the Scrumban, correct, I think many people misunderstood. Actually, we need to follow Scrum and bring the positive from Kanban and implement. It is not like Scrumban means you take 50% of Scrum, 50% of Kanban, mix it, and that doesn't work. Full Scrum we need to follow, bring good quality like visualization kind of thing from Kanban, or follow full Kanban and bring whatever elements you want to take it from Scrum. Basically, you want to do sprint planning kind of thing, which you can bring it and then do it. So I just want to highlight that what is Scrumban means.
Sure. Thank you so much. And you said it really beautiful concept, So there's a concept called as shuhari, right? If you know. So whenever you learn something, you are in a stage that somebody tells you and you just implement it. Ha is something that you go really great at. You can implement the way tested. And then you go into certain stage that, now you can also challenge the status quo and you can say that I have a better solution than that. Okay. So where do you stand as on today is also something that we need to check. Which framework? Oh, that is bad. This is good. That is bad. So where do you stand? So also check what is the location that you are actually standing at, Chu, Ha, or Re, and then try to graduate from there and move on. And these are the kind of discussions that we would like to start very soon. Rahul is here, and we are actually thinking on certain ways of how can we actually change this scenario. You can actually join us, give us your contact number on the chat here, and we would also touch base with you. We are going to have a kind of global forum on discussing on these topics if you want to go into that stage. Okay, sure. So now I'll touch base again back on the topic. So if you say Scrum Master responsibilities in events, if you actually see basic Scrum, there are these events. Okay, one event which is not mentioned here as in Scrum Guide is sprint itself. Okay, so these are the 4 events apart from the sprint. If you go to organization specific, then there are various different org specific events. There might be status meetings also. Okay, so these are the basic events that we have. However, if you go to SAFe, Scaled Agile Framework, okay, we have iteration planning, daily Scrum, iteration review, iteration retrospective. If you actually see basic Scrum and SAFe Agile teams, the only word that is actually changing is sprint is replaced by iteration. Okay, might be certain copyright effect or something like that. I would not like to comment on that, but that's the basic change. But if you actually now add something, if you go to the art level, Agile release train level, which we used to earlier call as program layer, then now we have PI planning. Then we have art sync. Earlier we used to call it as program sync or SOS, whatever. Now we have SM sync and PO sync, and then inspect and adapt workshop, which has system demo, which is a collaborative demo across all the teams, quantitative and qualitative analysis that we do, and we also have a problem solving workshop. So if you actually see this, say they're actually telling you, also feeding you guys, this is what is the event structure that we want. However, in basic Scrum. They say if you are actually making Scrum or multiple teams, you are free. You are an intellectual person. You can operate your own zone, in your own zone, according to your own organizational setup. But do not forget the basics of Scrum. Okay, that's what is this. So Scrum believes that you are more intellectual and you do not need a lot of spoon feeding. SAFe believes there has to be a standard structure to operate, and that's what is the basic philosophy. If you see more and more details here. Okay. Yeah, any additions, any questions?
I might be allowed to interject.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
No, the reason you mentioned Shuhari.
Yeah.
So I was intrigued by that. Anybody here know where Shuhari came from?
I know it is from Japanese.
Yeah, you're quite right. Absolutely. It's a Japanese term, Shu, Ha, and Ri. But how and where did it come from? See, in Agile, we should always ask ourselves,
Nawaz is saying karate probably.
No. When
martial arts. I think it's not karate.
No. It's not martial arts, Kumar. In fact, I thought you would be the first person to quickly answer. The concept was adopted in Kanban, but it did not start with Kanban. Before Kanban was what used to be known as the GI, the just-in-time system. And when Kanban was designed, conceived, invented, developed, it was developed by Taiichi Ono, who invented Kanban. And he took the concept of Shuhari from the just-in-time system. So in a nutshell, what is Shuhari? So the first, Shu. The Shu says, what it literally, I'm giving you the literal meaning, learn the rules. Yeah, learn the rules. Learn the rules means you learn it, means you got it by heart. Learn it inside out, backwards and forwards. Learn this. So that is Shu. So the first thing is to learn the rules. Ha. The second stage, follow the rules and follow it bloody blindly. Don't look left and right like a horse with blinkers. You just have to pull the carriage. You follow the bloody rules. Don't look left, right, above, below, nothing. You simply follow the rules. And the third is Ri. The literal meaning is break the rules. Now, it doesn't mean that is the literal meaning, but is exactly what Vijay was saying is by that time, since you have learned the rules, you have been following the rules, and now you can say, hey, I got a better solution. The same rules, I'm not saying break the rules, but we adapt it, we bend it, we twist it, we make it adaptable to what we think will be the most effective for our organization or my project or whatever I'm doing. That was the concept of Shuhari, and that is the concept that Taiichi Ono adapted into Kanban.
So Sid, we can say learn, practice, master.
You can't say master. There is no master in this world.
Okay.
But like I said, you are going to adapt it to what works for you. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Your organization is different. My organization is different. Your project is different. My project is different. So you will adapt it to what works best for you and for your project. And I will adapt it to what works best for me, for my team, for my project. And there will be differences because there are so many other factors. The demographics, for example, you're sitting in Singapore, I'm sitting in UK. Yeah, we have different, there's a cultural difference. And because of the culture, the people here, the way they interact is different from the way people in India interact or in Singapore interact or Canada or Japan interact. Yeah. So all those other factors are going to enter the picture.
Yeah. So probably not, yeah, probably not what you said, Vijay. Maybe we can say that as Sid said, learn, correct me if I'm not, learn, follow, and improve.
Yeah, exactly.
Nearby to it. Won't be exactly that, but nearby to it.
Vijay, I read somewhere it is mentioning first learn, then detach, and finally transcend.
Yeah.
That was also read somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are various versions. So what he said is the basic crux that he has given. I mean, you can put it into various different words that suit you.
Yeah. No, I started with literally with the literal translation.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert, but I can speak just a little bit of Japanese, so I can translate.
Wow.
Anyway,
Good
sorry for the interruption.
Session.
Please,
thank you.
please.
Thanks for adding in. Thanks for value addition. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah, and then if you actually see now that might be my almost last slide, or maybe but one. Okay, if you actually see Scrum Guide, I'm referring the basic Scrum Guide here. If you read that, the Scrum Master role, the way it is defined, it is Scrum Master is accountable for establishing Scrum as defined in the Scrum Guide. So the core reference is Scrum Guide and the structure that we have discussed before. They do this by helping everyone understand Scrum theory, practice, both within the Scrum team and the organization. So now with this organization, they are actually scaling it here. However, if you actually see basics, the principles of it, it has.
I'm not able to hear.
I think some problem at Vijay's side.
Yeah, Vijay, we are not able to hear you. Suddenly.
Vijay, your voice is gone, huh?
Yeah, I think he's speaking, but mic got disconnected.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, not able to hear. Yes, we are not able to hear. Correct. Vijay sir?
Yeah, just a minute. Huh? Let me figure it out.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
What's up? Hey, what's up? No, are you going home to stay or?
Okay. I removed headphones. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So if you actually, I'm sorry for that. So if you actually read this, these are very basics, and if you actually, it trusts you a lot under those words, like very loaded words like effectiveness. Can you hear me, guys?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, Vijay.
Yes, Vijay, we can hear you.
So Scrum Master is accountable. Again, a very loaded word. So it trusts you that you understand that word for Scrum team's effectiveness, accountable for effectiveness. And it says that maybe you figure it out how you can be effective. And there are various different aspects under it. They do this by enabling Scrum teams improve practices within the Scrum framework. Scrum Masters are true leaders. Very, very loaded words. Very, very much trust that we are building in actually here. Scrum Master serves the Scrum team in several ways, blah, 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 if you have actually read it. There are three different ways of responsibilities or towards the different stakeholders. One is developers, the other is product owner, and then the organization. However, a lot of things are left out for your own understanding. However, if you actually go here on the scaled agile framework, if you actually see the responsibilities, it says SM and TC, that is Scrum Master or the team coach, that's a new name, assist the team in meeting their delivery goals, very specific. Okay, they coach teams in self-organization and self-management and help them coordinate and participate in agile release trains, very specific towards the SAFe framework events. Increasing the effectiveness of SAFe across the organization. Now it is also going towards the organization. SAFe, SM and TC are integral members of an agile team and share responsibilities with the team for their overall performance. the Scrum Master and team coach has the specialty. Now focus here, specialty skills. Now it's very specific, connect to the specialty skills that support adopting safe Scrum practices. So now here by this definition, it is actually separating itself from the other frameworks or other basic Scrum frameworks. It says it has very basic or different Scrum practices in SAFe, ensuring no substantial gap. So basically it is focusing on you have to abide by that. And the team knows how to plan, execute, review, retrospect. In addition, SMTC can actively coach SAFe team. Now see, there is an addition of Kanban teams. If you go to basic Scrum, there is no Kanban there. There is no reference. However, now in the 2020 Scrum Guide, Lean is added, but there is no basic connect with the Kanban. However, Lean is added into it. However, SAFe says about Kanban very specifically and help Agile team achieve team flow. Again, a Kanban concept, or to go back, a basic Lean concept. Okay. So if you see here, scaled Agile framework or SAFe is very specific about your duties. Scrum Guide believes you as an individual, as an intellectual, and it says that under those loaded words, you understand your own responsibilities, you figure out your own way of implementation. Because in scaled Agile framework, we have a structure who's supporting you. Like I said earlier, RTE, everyone has their own responsibilities cut out there. And that's why it can be very, very specific about certain responsibilities. Yeah. Any additions, any questions here? And before that, I would like to tell you, coming 19th and 20th May, that is Friday and Saturday, we have a very confirmed session on SAFe for Scrum Master. It's an online class. And there are already people who have registered for this from various different organizations. If you want to, you can join us on that number. You can WhatsApp us or you can also WhatsApp me. Yeah, any addition to what we said now, basic Scrum Guide and the scaled Agile version of Scrum Master responsibilities? Please, the floor is open, guys. Vijay, Emmanuel, Munia, anybody? Any findings, any observations, your thoughts? Bala, Sandeep?
Actually, SAFe is the biggest one and the topic is too much. Right now, whatever you covered, it's really good and the basic, but initially we talked, right, why we need a SAFe. So definitely it is for the large scale organization and we can use and fit SAFe somewhere.
Yeah.
But if we have small projects, or we can say the small chunk or the small portion, definitely Scrum can fit there. Definitely, as someone said, there are very big pros and cons about all the frameworks like SAFe, Scrum, Lean, or XP, whatever, Kanban. Definitely, it is the best in their places. That is my point. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. We cannot accommodate everything in one session, definitely. And we'll also cover in the forthcoming sessions. Yeah. So guys, I tried to cover or have more and more discussions on what is also your observation about it. So these are the high level differences that I actually tried to tell you here. However, I did not go into very basic or specific details because, I was afraid of, let me tell you, I was afraid of going into the areas that, comparing, and I might fall onto the wrong side of it. Okay. However, if time permits, I can put my words into real good definition or more detail of it, which is not possible in a very short session. So that's why I would like to refrain from it. Yeah. Okay. This is guys. So yeah. Thank you for joining in on this session. Anything you would like to say, you can tell us, or otherwise just an advertisement again. We are doing a session on this 19th and 20th May online for SAFe for Scrum Master, and I am doing it this time. Yeah, so if you would like to join us, please join us. We are also a Scaled Agile Framework Bronze partner, and we have been doing a lot of transformation in various different companies for SAFe. We are also IC Agile partner, and we have been doing global sessions. So please join us. Please chat with us. If you would like to do any sessions with us, please let us know, and we'll chat. We'll discuss about it, the content, and then And all our content is most of the times is recorded and stored on the YouTube channel. So you can see our YouTube channel. You can actually subscribe, and that would help us because we have been doing this work since last 2.5 years plus consistently. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.